All right, guys, so in this video today, I'm going to do a breakdown of what we call magnetic fingers. In hypnosis, we use this as what we call a convincer, basically to show people that yes, hypnosis is real, yes, it does work. So I'm going to do the breakdown. I've done this, I don't know, 1,000 times, and it works every single time if you do it step by step in the right way. And this is going to be a cool trick you can use with your friends at a party or just to kind of get your way started in the hypnosis journey. So stay tuned. I'm gonna do the reaction and you're gonna love it, I promise. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm here with my man Mike Hobby. He's a coach at Extreme Couture here in Las Vegas. And we just did a timeline therapy session, but we're gonna do the rapid hypnosis induction. So just to clarify, have you ever done hypnosis before?
No, never.
No, you've never done this, okay. Have you ever done this exercise before?
No.
You don't even know what we're doing, do you?
No. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do the, call this magnetic fingers, and I'm gonna explain to you guys how it works, okay? So go ahead and put your hands out in front, like this here. All the way out, perfect. Go ahead and clasp them together. Bring your hands up to your chin, and all I want you to do is just open your fingers like that. Yep. And just go ahead and stare at the space between your fingers. And as you stare at the space between your fingers, I want you to imagine you got two of the most powerful magnets in the world attached to each fingertip. And as you stand here and imagine those magnets, they're going to move closer and closer together. Faster and faster. Faster and faster. Because remember, these are the two most powerful magnets in the world. And that's what magnets do. Magnets are attract each other. And when those fingers touch, go ahead and close your eyes. Go all the way down. All the way down. Now just ignore everything around you and just focus on the sound of my voice. And as you stand here listening to my voice, you're going to notice those fingers are getting closer and closer, tighter and tighter. Because remember, these are the two most powerful magnets in the world, and that's what magnets do. Magnets get stuck together. Now, not yet, but in a moment, you're going to open your eyes, and when you open your eyes, I want you to stare directly at your fingertips, ignoring everything else around you, focusing on your fingertips. So go ahead and open your eyes, and as you open your eyes and as you stare at your fingers, you're going to notice your fingers are completely stuck together. As a matter of fact, they're so stuck together that in a moment, I want you to try and separate them. But I only want you to try and separate them when you are certain you will not be able to. So go ahead and try and separate them, and you may find that you cannot. The harder you try to separate them, the more they get stuck together. Now go ahead and stop trying, and go ahead and close your eyes and go all the way down, all the way down. That's right. More and more. Relax. Now on the count of 3, open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. All right, perfect. And release your hands. All right, how was that?
That was pretty odd. Yeah. Interesting.
What was going on when you were doing it? Like, what was going through your head when you were trying to separate it?
I could definitely feel it like pulling like that, and I can feel like that tension there. Yeah, for sure. That was pretty cool.
Why do you think you weren't able to separate it?
I don't know, I guess subconsciously I was pushing into it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
so
throwing the magnet in. Yeah.
The magnets, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
So the reason that works is because you're looking at your fingers, right? Remember, the conscious mind is only 5% of the brain power.
Sure.
The other 95% is the unconscious. So when you're consciously looking at your fingers, like I should be able to separate them, but I gave your unconscious mind the suggestions to keep them stuck. That's why you're looking at them like, oh shit, I should be able to separate them, but I can't.
Sure.
Okay? So, step-by-step process on how this works, okay? And how this works for the viewers. So, number one thing, if you're doing some type of induction or whatever, you have to come in with a strong frame, which means that I already have to come in knowing that this is gonna work. Because if there's any doubt in my mind, he's gonna sense the doubt and he's gonna be able to pull his fingers apart, okay? Number 2 is the person has to follow directions. So, you notice how when you put your hands out here, but I was already out here.
True.
So that's kind of like you, without realizing you're not following the complete instructions. So I said, okay, go out here, right?
Right.
So you have them clasped together, and then they bring them up to their chin. Now here's what happens. If you've ever, you've daydreamed before, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you daydream? You kind of get stuck on something, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you get stuck, everything else around you kind of tunes out, and you're just stuck on this one thing. So the reason I have you open your fingers and stare at the space in between your fingers is because it puts you in a trance. So it puts you in that daydream state. So when you're in a trance or that daydream-like state, you become more suggestible. So another thing, when you're staring at your fingers, eventually they're going to come together, right? I mean, it's just naturally the way that your muscles work. So as those fingers are coming together, I'm doing what's called pacing and leading. So pacing means that you tell somebody something that's true about their reality, and leading means that you're going to tell them something that you want them to believe. So for example, when your fingers are open like this, and I say, as you stand here, right, that's true. And as you're looking at the space between your fingers, that's also true. You're going to notice your fingers are getting closer together. So that's what I want for you to, I want your fingers to start moving closer together, right? So eventually your fingers come together, and then I use another hypnotic language, which is using the word because. So when you use the word because, it gives more validity to what you're doing. So I said, you're going to notice your fingers are getting stuck together, and they're so stuck together because, remember, these are the two most powerful magnets in the world, and that's what magnets do, magnets get stuck together, right? So then I said, not yet, but in a moment, you're going to open your eyes, and when you open your eyes, you're going to stare at your fingers. So if you notice, when you open your eyes, I did the pace, pace, lead. So pace means tell the person something that's true. So I said, as you open your eyes, that's one thing that's true. And as you stare at your fingers, that's the next thing that is true. So the third thing is what I want him to believe, which is your fingers are stuck together. And then that's when your fingers get stuck together, and then that's it. That's how it works. So cool. How was it? Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right.
So one thing that I forgot to mention when I was explaining the video, and I realized it after, and Mike was already gone, so I didn't want to re-explain it, was, and this is probably the most important, if not second most important thing, is when you listen to me say, when I'm asking him to open his fingers, there's a very specific word that I use, and that word is try. The reason why we use the word try is because try isn't actually doing it. So when I tell, like if I told you right now, try to stand up. Like if I wanted to try to get out of bed, well, if I'm trying, I'm not actually doing it. So when you're doing the magnetic fingers, it's very, very important that you don't say, okay, in a moment, I want you to separate your fingers, because you're actually giving them the command to separate the fingers. So you use the word try to separate your fingers, and they will not be able to. So make sure you include that when you are using this with people, or else it will not work. Again, it is probably the most important, if not tied for first place, that you very, very specifically use the word try. Now, on a side note, if you're using the word try in your daily life, cut that shit out. I don't want you to try to go to the gym. I want you to go to the gym. I don't want you to try to eat healthy. I want you to eat healthy. You get it? So delete try. It paralyzes you, and it keeps you from doing what you want to do. So again, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like it, subscribe, comment, like, dislike. I don't really care. Just take your finger, okay, and go like this, and just go click on the subscribe button, click on the like button, and just leave me like a little comment just saying, hey, you're fucking ugly, you're bald, you are fat, you whatever. I don't know why you're making a video shirtless in your room. Whatever you want to say, just go do it now. If you haven't already, take that little finger. Look, it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. Just click it just like that. All right, guys, I'll be making another video soon, and we'll see you in the next one.